Yep, it says you are. Yep, it says yeah, here you go.
What is that? What was that? My laptop? Yes or no?
Yes.
Please be careful. Make sure it still works. What was that? My laptop? Yes or no? Please be careful. Make sure it still works. What was that? My laptop? Yes or no? Is there a little bit of feedback? You hear that feedback?
Yeah.
Is there a little bit of feedback? You hear that feedback?
Oh my goodness.
What? Oh, you logged in over there?
What is this? Are you on stream right on here?
Check out and see. Oh, you logged in over
I'm
there?
trying this.
Check out and see. Turn that computer off.
I did.
It's off because I can see the computer. Turn that computer off. Off because I can see the computer. Is it the TV?
I did. Where's the no mute.
Hello? Okay. Where was it coming from?
I don't know.
Because it wasn't on here. See about the TV. Hi, thank you for tuning in. We are waiting for our guests to come in. Let us know who you are.
I think you're watching it. That's why on here.
Hi, thank you for tuning in. Oh,
That's why.
let us know who you are. Come on in. Let's see.
That was scary.
That was scary. Oh, and it was coming from the computer. Okay, let me move these joints. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Look at you. You have grown out.
Yeah, this is my quarantine look.
Okay. All right. Okay. I like it. I dig it. Okay. So I'm waiting for the other brothers to join us and see if we have any people coming into the live feed.
I'm trying to share the link that you emailed me.
Oh, this link will bring them in here. The one that I
That's okay.
emailed. You want them to you want to share the one that's on my Facebook page, that's the YouTube link
Oh, okay.
for them to watch there.
Okay. How you feeling this morning?
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Well, like we have so much to discuss, and I just want it to all go well.
I believe it will in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, hallelujah.
Amen.
I'm over here listening to TD Jakes.
Oh, there you go. Starting the morning off right.
Okay, so the wealthy guy, he just got my message. I think he's advertising it in Instagram right now. Let me do my I'm thinking about changing this whole background. What do you think it should be, Amari?
All black.
All black?
Yeah, for Black Lives Matter.
Okay, let's see. Where's my art? Over ministries, over businesses, over companies, over families, over mothers and daughters and fathers and sons and churches and cities. We come against it now in the name of Jesus. Spirit of the living God, have your way in this house. I thank you for what you're about to do. Shake this house. Shake it like it's a rug. Shake it like it's a garment. Oh, arise, great God that you are. I thank you for what I feel right now. Have your way in this house. In Jesus' name. Somebody shout amen. Okay, I see Dario Christian trying to come in. Pick him up in a second. Oh, they're both here. I'm going to go back to this because no, absolutely not.
Good morning, you guys.
What's up, fellas? How you
Good
doing?
morning. How are you?
I see everybody got the beard memo, so we're already in a good space.
Yeah, we're in the beer club.
All right. Since we have everyone here, let me get my introductions together. Dario, you sent me your introduction.
Yes. Am I centered too? Sometimes I'm off on these things. Sometimes am I looking centered?
Yes,
Okay.
you are in the dark a little bit. You have some more light? Or...
Let's see.
Okay, we're live right now, but the traffic is low. What I'm going to do is I usually go back and take these and edit it. Okay. And then I publish that edit. So if there are little mistakes and bumps in the road, don't worry about that along the way.
Okay.
Okay, those will be like, this will be taken out. Okay. Dario, I need some more light on your face.
More light. Okay.
Wealthy guy, I can see you very good.
Let's see here.
Amari, I can see you really good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Good.
That's about the best.
Is that more light, or is it still need more? Is that more light?
That's good light. See if you can. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Now bring your head towards your camera, just a little bit. Yep. There you go. We got you, brother.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to do my introduction really quickly here. And 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for tuning in. I am Priscilla Mack, and this is Still Learning, Still Developing. Today we have 3 special guests, the Wealthy Guy, Dario Cristone, and Amari Washington. They're all here as men of honor, and they are changing the narrative for Black men in America and across the world today. I really want you to meet them. So here we go. Let's get started. Hello.
Hello.
Greetings, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Blessed to be here in these crazy times.
Yes. I know you all. I want to make sure that the introductions get done properly. So usually I ask people about themselves so that they can go ahead and do it. Okay. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
okay. Good. All right. Let's start with this very interesting person. Who is that?
That's the wealthy guy right there.
It is now. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yes. So the wealthy guy is something that was birthed out of my wanting to get out of corporate America and me finding, looking for something like the coat that I have on, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And someone suggested to me, why don't you try to make it yourself? And at the time I was just like, what do you mean? I have money. I just want to buy it. But I actually took their advice and, got a coat made for myself. People saw it. Then people started asking me to make one for them. And one day I was like, wait a minute, this is a business. And, I woke up and called my job and said, I'm not coming back. And that was 3 years ago. So, for 3 years, I've been doing the wealthy guy. But what's different about the wealthy guy is.
Uh-oh. We lost him.
Where'd he go?
Too much wealth. Too much wealth.
Too much wealth. Look at all that power. Look at all that power. Who do we have here?
Oh man, that guy looks familiar. What's up, everybody? I'm Dario Cristone. I'm a TV host and the president of Black Hollywood Live, and I've been trying to change the narrative. I've been honored to be on this panel right here because I'm trying to change the narrative right now in media, just the perception of Black people, Black entertainers. Especially right now, I just feel like it's so important to kind of realize who we are as a people and how our images are portrayed in the media. So I've been working in television and being a journalist for many years. Started off at Vibe magazine in New York, and then kind of moved my way all the way over to working on CBS, to hosting on OWN, BET, the Reels channel, to currently producing and also creating great content for Black Hollywood Live.
All right. Okay. So who is it? Look at this. Look at that smile. Look at that smile, guys.
That's a good looking fella right there. What's up, you guys? I'm Omari Washington. I'm a award-winning actor, producer, and I also run my own production company. And I've been acting for 20 years. This year will make 20 years. I started out doing theater in Chicago. I've been in LA for about 10 years, going on 10 years. And I want to make a change in the Black community as far as speaking on depression and suicide. And that's what triggered me to write Gracefully Broken, my short film about a guy who's about to lose everything, and he's on the verge of depression and slowly slipping into suicidal thoughts. And he crosses paths with a woman who could be a saving grace. And I feel like, especially right now, the Black community needs that love and support. And that's why I created this film, to be a voice for those who don't necessarily have the platform to voice their opinion or voice what they're going through in their lives.
Okay. All right. We got Ashley Gray. She says, Dario. She's showing you some love. Hey.
What's up, Ashley?
Jesse Janity. Hi.
What's up, Jesse?
Courtney Stewart.
That's part of my tribe, my producing
tribe.
That's
the tribe.
Right, they always support. Courtney,
that's
Jesse,
right. Come on in, tribe.
Always here for it. They always here for it.
The sisters are supporting. The sisters are supporting. Let me tell you where I got Wealthy Guy from. First of all, he was my Facebook friend, and he put it out there. He said, "Hey, if you all have an Instagram or something, shoot it down there, and I'll follow you." And I said, I looked at his pictures. It's so fascinating, isn't it? And then I went and I followed him. But then I saw the march with you and your friends with all the suits and everything on Garcelle Buvis's Instagram. Yes, Fancy from the Jamie Foxx show. So just to let you know, you out there, brother, you're growing. So yeah, the sisters are definitely supporting you all, and we want to know, how can everyone be supportive of the Black man at this time in America? Whoever wants to take that first.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's many different ways to support, especially people that know Black folks personally on a different level, so they can post online, they can get out there and protest with us, they can use their social media platforms to voice their opinion about the issue, because I feel like we need all hands on deck right now, and any and every support matters.
Yeah. I mean, I've been getting that question a lot from people, especially people who are not African American, who want to support, who want to get involved, who just don't know what the proper way is. And I recently, actually, on my social media, I posted a link of 40 different ways that people can get involved. I mean, you can protest, you can call your city councils. There's 1-800 numbers to complain to the police chief. There's petitions out there for justice for George, and for so many different ways that people can get involved if they don't feel maybe necessarily comfortable protesting. I have people who have told me, they're like, hey, not only are in the middle of protesting, obviously we also in the middle of a serious pandemic that's also going on. So some people have not felt so comfortable going out. But there's so many ways in addition to protesting, that people can get involved. So, I mean, it really starts with just looking at the resources, looking at all of the what African Americans are posting right now on their social media. There's so many different ways out there to support this cause and to get justice for African Americans right now across the world.
Mm-hmm. What do you think that people do that hinders us when we're trying to make a movement? Because we need some risk analysis here, because when you're trying to go forward with something, and I think this has been a little bit of a setback for us prior. I watched a justice program with Thurgood Marshall where he went out and, he wanted there to not be any segregation anymore. But the people that were in authority were saying, well, is there any transition for them? And it was like, no, we just don't want to be segregated anymore. And then we got that. So everybody was together, but nobody really had a plan to transition people into this new lifestyle. And I always say, imagine you go to school, you're a white person all the time. And then all of a sudden one day there's Black people. And you've had a mindset about them your whole time that you've heard at table talk. Black folks too. So a culture shock for both of them, that there was no instructional manual for them to transition. And I feel like if we're actually going to make this type of movement, there needs to be some type of transition into it. Some instructions here. What do you all think?
I think for me, one of the things that I think hinders us is the fact that people immediately react off of emotion versus looking at the situation. So I think we live in a time where if you post anything, it doesn't even have to be the truth. People share it, right? They get upset about it. They share it more. And it's a lot of times it's not the full picture of what happened or what is going on. So I think we've gotten a lot away from educating ourselves on what, not believing what we see, right? Like not immediately reacting to what we see and questioning, not only what you see, but the before and in the after. And I think in this age of social media, we're just too quick to share stuff that's not even true, right? But and from that, people immediately react, right? And sometimes they're getting mad about things that just are not true. And a lot of times people are just contributing to all the anxiety and everything else that we're feeling by doing that, instead of taking a minute or two to Google it, right? Look for credible news sources to see if it's true or not, instead of just sharing it all around social media.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I mean, I work in media, and I catch myself sometimes because I get, especially this last week, there's just so much information out there, and I'm so quick to want to share that information and provide, this information to people. But then I have to check myself sometimes. I'm like, you know what? Let me make sure that I've done my facts to make sure that this information is true and it's not just part of that mass of information that is misinformation. I don't want to be a reason for this miscommunication that's out there. So I kind of have to agree with you and piggyback off of what you're saying, in the sense of, it's about educating ourselves, especially right now. I mean, listen, yes, people are very emotional right now, but we have a reason to be, and it's even at a heightened level at this stage. So, but with that, even with all that we're doing, that's why I loved Obama's speech the other day, because we're protesting and we're fighting and we're upset and we want to get our rights. But Obama kind of broke it down to the sense of, at the end of the day, we gotta realize, like, what's our message with this? Like, what's our end result? What do we want to accomplish from this? And I think that's such an important message that we have to remember in this process. What is it? What's the bigger picture? What are we trying to accomplish with all that we're doing right now?
Okay, I have a comment from Phil Savek. He says, I was educated that I should stop pointing blame at Trump, because while he may be part of the problem, racism is 400 plus years old in America.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, well, racism, that's a long time.
Right.
And like I was saying before, he's from that era of, he grew up that way in segregated schools. Sometimes I think he can't help it, to be honest. I don't know. Devon Scott says it's like cause and effect. Ashley Gray says bring Obama back. No, Tiana.
Amen to that.
Weren't you all glad to see him speak about it? It was so refreshing. It was like, whoo, somebody, please.
It actually gave me a calmness. It gave me a calmness.
Yes,
I've been so frustrated. I've been in moods. I've been realizing that 1 minute I'm on the verge of crying. One minute I'm angry. 1 minute I'm just numb. And when I saw him, it was I equated this to like being back in college and say you were having a tough exam and it was a tough period and like your dad or your grandfather or your uncle called you and gave you some inspirational words that got you through that exam. You're like, you can do this. It's like he came in was like, hey, black folks, we gonna get through this. Don't forget.
Right.
Don't forget.
Right. Now, when you all were talking about posting on social media, everyone is not at the same mindset at the moment. Okay. So the responsibility of leaders and their influence is imperative. Now, people who have just a large audience as it is. So what do you all have to say to people who have large audiences and how they conduct themselves online, especially during crises like this?
That's a good question. I know for me, for the most part, I've been relatively quiet other than the video that's like kind of going viral. And the funny thing about that video is that video is from last August. Right. But so many people are circulating it as look at them marching with their suits. This is how we need to be. But it was actually a change the narrative event for Black menswear in Philadelphia last August. So you see how easy it is for people to take something, apply it to the now, and then run and then run with it. But I'm always, in my story, I post about the things that I think are some of the solutions, which is you can't have influence without money. So my thing is, Black people, how are you creating wealth for yourself? What are you, what are you doing during this time or after this time to ensure that you and your family are creating wealth so that you will have, some influence when it comes to money too? I see a lot of people saying, vote, 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 vote. Get out there and vote. Make your voice heard. But if we vote and only vote and don't follow up with holding the elected officials accountable, we will not see any change.
It's true.
Because we're just voting the same types of people in office over and over again that are okay with the status quo because they don't want to go against the grain. So we vote this time, right? We get some of the same people, right? We hold them to the task of, holding them accountable for legislation, right? I saw something that said, with the bus boycotts, right? In the 60s, they boycotted for like a year before there was legislation passed that made real change. And that's the only way, like there has to be laws that say, police, if you do this,
right,
this is what's going to happen. So alone is not enough. So it's like building wealth, holding your, elected officials accountable, and then also holding, yourself accountable for how you, represent, because even though you're an individual, when they see us, it's y'all, right? It's all y'all.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, it is.
It's all y'all. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Delvon Scott says a lot of leaders can do a lot of things and it can affect the community in a good way or bad. So people like that need to watch what they say, because once it's on the internet, there is no going back. And that's my son. That's my little black man.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. It's been interesting because I've been watching a lot of the social media feeds from our people. You know, our leaders, our celebrities, the you know our influencers, the people who that our culture pays attention to. And ironically, I actually feel like there's a lot of people who haven't said as much as I thought that they would be saying during this time period. I mean, you know, even I was watching George's funeral yesterday, and Reverend Al Sharpton was delivering some things that I thought were just really powerful to the Black community. But and he was talking about even leadership and who was out there speaking and who, you know, how we conduct ourselves in this moment. And I was like, wow, who's our new leaders who are speaking about that right now? I feel like we haven't seen that as much, and we as a people need leadership. That's why we have Martin Luther King. That's why we love Obama so much, and Michelle Obama. You know, we and Oprah. You know, we need leadership to help us get through these waves of tough times. So I'm a little surprised I haven't seen as many people use their platforms to kind of talk more about, have more of a conversation about what's going on versus just shooting their, you know, individual feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Courtney Stewart says, put that money in a Black-owned bank. Uh-oh, I don't want to lose her. Let me go back ahead. Put that money in a Black-owned bank, get some life insurance, pull your money and start investment groups and talk to these politicians 365. I also wonder this, do we groom our children to be politicians? Like, do we groom them to fill in the area gaps that the economic gaps that we have in society? Or are we telling them, chase your dreams, do whatever you want to do? Because I listen to other cultures like Jewish people, some of their YouTube channels, and they say straight out, no, you're not doing what you want to do over here. We have a plan, and this is where you fit in the loop. You make your money, then you can have a shoe company, but this is where we need you to be. Okay. So is that something that we should take on, or, you know, what do you think? What do you guys think?
I feel like we should definitely groom our kids to be successful in a business sense, so they're prepared for what the world is gonna bring to them, or we should set them up for success, is what I'm saying. You know, with that information, they could be successful in their own right. Without it, it's kind of like we're misleading them. We're not guiding them enough.
Yeah, I think it's so important. Like, I don't have children. If I have children one day, one thing I will want to teach them at a very young age is investments and putting your money away, and at a very young age, learning about property and real estate, things that can build your wealth in the future. You know, creating your own type of business. I mean, I think that's so important to teach our kids that, and also using politics. There are up and coming young leaders that I've seen. I forgot the young man from Detroit, but there's young, very young millennial kids who are coming up, or even younger than that are coming up, that the future looks bright if they keep stepping up the way that they are. But I think that there's many more that need to come out, you know, that way. We need several of those versus just a few.
Okay. Phil Savetic says, because I'm seeing so many companies, including my own, show support for BLM, I decided to email my company to see what specifics we're doing internally to elevate and make more diverse. Phil, can you please tell us your nationality? Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good step. Courtney Stewart, we got to start showing up for ourselves.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Ashley Gray, celebs need to stop throwing money around thinking that is all they are required to do. She said, if you can rap and sing about shaking your bleep, speak up about Black men and women murdered by cops. And Ashley Gray also says she agrees with the Jews. You can have your little dreams, but first let's get this money. My mother said to me,
Right.
she said a long time ago when I started doing media, she said, "Do you want to be popular or do you want to make money? You can do
Right.
both, but make sure you make some money."
Exactly. Absolutely.
Right.
Get those checks.
Get
Get those checks.
Ashley Gray said, "You don't have children. Let me find out." Listen here. Listen, sisters, don't y'all start now. Look, I got the banners. I slide in the DMs.
Right.
Look,
A lot of companies are coming out, we stand with you, Black people, Black Lives Matter, but there's a key line that's missing. We stand with you against police brutality. No
Right.
one is taking that, like that is the piece right there that people are scared to, to say, that these companies are scared to say. They're very happy to say, because they're used to saying, they have their diversity officers and executives there, and they're used to talking about Black people, we support you, but they're not going to speak out against the police specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's a fear there, with that
Right.
there's still there's a fear of how far they can take it and how much into politics do they want to play when it comes
Right.
to supporting Black America. Let's just be real about that.
Right.
Okay, Vilsevec says he's a white male. Okay. Let me see. Delvon Scott says Black Lives Matter should not even have to be the solution to be ending racism, but apparently people just think that we need to be locked up and never seen again. And even the people that you trust. Wow, I didn't know my son knew these kind of things. Boy's 13.
You fired up.
He's one of
I did not know.
our future leaders right there. One of our future leaders.
Right. I did not know. Wow, son. Okay. I try to, and I probably shouldn't do this. I have 2 Black children, and I shelter them a little bit. So when we were out and we grew up on, they grew up on a military installation, so they're used to diversity off the bat. When I grew up, I went to an all Black school. And I remember we were walking home one day, and I said, when I grew up, I went to a Black school, and they said, "Really? Oh my God, what was it like?" And then I was like, "Oh my God, my poor children, you don't even know." And so now we're here in Washington, D.C., and their first day of school, they could see all the brown faces through the window, and they were just so excited. They were like, "Oh my God, they look like us." And I said, "Oh, well, you need to grow some thick skin right about now before you get in these doors, but you'll be fine." So our children, I believe, they have a different experience than we do, and we have a different Black experience than our parents do. But we're trying to flatten the curve and basically rid it of racism because we don't want them to go through these things. It's really sad that we had to riot like this because somebody decided to put their knee on somebody's neck.
Yeah.
That was just gross. I mean, I don't care if he just came out of robbing a bank. There's no excuse to do that to somebody that is already detained. But being in media, Daryl, my first thing was don't say nothing yet. Get all the facts first, like you said.
Yeah.
So what was your step because we're talking about responding and being of influence and being responsible. How did you respond?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. When George happened, I was still just in my headspace about Ahmaud Arbery, and I just was already just so in such a weird space with that when this happened with George, it's interesting to figure out what's going to be the trigger for us because we're unfortunately so used to looking at news reports about young Black men and young Black women who have been murdered over the years. And this was the one, was that fire. Like George was the one where people were like, I'm not having it anymore. And I was just disgusted watching the video, to be honest with you. Like it sparked that extra emotion of like the audacity of that police officer to as he's being filmed is murdering this man. And I was on a panel, a great panel a week ago, from a woman by the name of Dr. Venus, and we were discussing how it's interesting because now everybody has cameras, right? And you would think that with cameras being involved with police, that would sense some type of fear for them to want to maybe back down. But the discussion turned into how the cameras are actually the police's new way of showing lynchings. Like when back in 1950s, when they would show, or the early 1900s, when slaves were being hung and lynched, and they would display them out in the field so other black slaves could see them. That's almost like the form of where we're at right now with our cameras. It's like they're taking videos and photos, and it's the way he was looking at the camera while he was killing George Floyd was like, listen here, other black people, this gonna be you if you get out of your space or get out of line. This could happen to you. And that's how that's literally the emotion that I felt when I was watching that video. I just discussed.
Lord have mercy. And in broad daylight, I cannot.
In broad daylight.
Lord, we gotta child, don't get me crying in here. Hold on, let's go to something else real quick so I can adjust myself. Y'all. Public
as
lynching.
he's yelling for his mother, in the meantime, as he's yelling for his mother.
Yes. Candace Owen. She says, these companies running around like Candace Owen acting like the police brutality is a myth. I actually reached out to the young lady. I don't know if you all have ever heard of her. She's had some pointers. She's not here to speak for herself. So if you all want to go and look at her point of view, you can go ahead and do that. See. Devon Scott says, and it's sad that a lot of our leaders out there think that they can do whatever. And some people have more mercy for the police, saying, don't you think that he felt bad? No, seriously,
there was no remorse.
They start showing, you all know how this is how media works. All right, roll with me, Daryl. When something comes out, you grab other stories and images to verify it, and you get those rolling and trending, and that psychologically attaches itself to people. And so, say as soon as something like this happens, if you are a person that is opposing of Black Lives Matter, you're gonna scrummage up all of your good police photos. See, look at police being great and hugging and crying and kissing Black people. They're not so bad if you stay in line.
Right. There's the key.
Right.
And that comes from a Black and white perspective. And I hate to say this, God bless me, don't y'all fire me. But there are some other cultures that think they're white.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all see that?
Oh yeah. Oh, you see it. You see it all over social media. Look at those Black people. Look at how they acting. It's true, right? It's them that are looting. Look at them. They don't even care about their own communities. And I'm just always like, how could you not even know your history and know that you are Black too?
Right.
Like, come on now, right?
Well, even if you are Hispanic or Asian, don't think for a minute that they think of you or look at you
any differently
as an equal.
Right.
The first to go. Let me tell you how it goes around here. Okay, white folks, dogs and cats, Black folks, and then the rest of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Am I right?
It is.
It's sad but true.
Yeah. They I saw a documentary on Netflix. It was called Don't F with Cats. And these people went so much harder for the animals than for the people that were being killed. It blew my mind.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay, so like you said, a lot of people need to do things with their time right now. Some folks are online and they're acting like they're bored. If they don't say it out loud, it's who's up right now. What are you doing? Talking about who's up right now. You should be up either working, not staring at everybody else, either giving us some information or obtaining some information from social media right now. I don't think Black people understand that they're minorities, and we really don't have the space to be stumbling around, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So
One of the biggest challenges is us holding ourselves accountable.
Mm.
Right? We want everybody else to change.
right.
We want to keep doing the same thing.
But do
You know?
you say that out loud for fear that the others might?
But it's true though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
it is
it's-
true.
It's hard to say out loud, right? But it is definitely true. I don't the where Candace and people get in trouble is saying stuff like, you know, you were doing something wrong. What do you think happens when you do something wrong? Right?
Right.
Like you get in trouble, but getting in trouble doesn't mean getting killed.
Right.
Right.
Let's be very clear. You
Mhm.
you do something wrong, you are supposed to face the consequences, but that does not mean that should be a death sentence for you.
Mhm.
You know, and
Yeah.
you know, I have had the opportunity to like travel and live different places, you know, and work in corporate America, work for big banks, and have, you know, how we call it, good jobs and make good money. And there's only been one time in my life where, you know, I was stopped by the police, and it happened to be because I was walking my dogs after 10 o'clock, and the park closes at 10 o'clock. Right. And I got, you know, they gave me a ticket. I had to go to court. And that experience for me, like, it was just like, wait a minute, I follow the rules. I didn't follow the rule tonight. You know, I didn't know. I didn't realize it was 10 o'clock. You know, and the police were very rude. And it was just like a lot of them came, and I'm like, they're like, well, we heard, you know, there were gunshots, you know, in the projects over there. And I'm like, well, firstly, I live like in a luxury building down the street. I'm walking a poodle. Like, do you think I just shot somebody?
Right.
Come on now. But you know, even with that, was I upset about the exchange? But immediately when they approached me, I knew not to get buck.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't want to do anything that was going to give them the opportunity to abuse me.
Mm.
You know, and in a lot of times when people get stopped by the police and things like that, what happened? What did I do? What are you pulling me over for? No, I'm not getting out the car. No. Still, there's no excuse for anyone being killed, you know, but we live in a society where there's rules.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's rules and we have to follow them. And a lot of people forget that aspect of things. So I don't know how we, you know, hold ourselves accountable for our actions, but that to me is a really big conversation to have.
Right. And
we have to be accountable, as you said, and but on the flip side, I understand how people are at their maximum boiling point of frustration, you know, and you want to pop off sometimes because you're like, really, you know, I'm the least furthest person from being a threat, but yet you're making me a threat. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that we're at a space right now where that's why it's elevated to this level where we are not taking it anymore. Where it's done. You know, it's done. We're over it. Something's got to change, or a lot of things are going to get even worse.
Right.
Courtney Stewart says, I think 2020 is the year for us. I hope it's the new great awakening and we finally about to have an epic shift in society. I think it is because I think a lot of our Caucasian brothers and sisters didn't know it could really go down like that when you've done nothing. And even when I went to college in Washington State, I remember being in there, and this is college level, and they were just learning about Frederick Douglass. And one of the young ladies, she said, when they were talking about Martin Luther King, her perception was, well, nothing will happen to you if you don't do anything wrong. She wasn't familiar with police brutality during innocence. Okay. And Ashley Gray says, so I can't challenge my rights. Just 1 second. Get the charger. So she wants to know if she can challenge her rights.
I think that there's a right and a wrong way to challenge your rights. Challenging your rights doesn't have to be aggressive. Can you tell me what I did? What did I do wrong? No, I'm not getting out my car. No, I'm not rolling down my window. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
There is.
Okay, he froze up. Ashley Gray said,
not the way. Yeah, of course you should be able to challenge your rights, right? Like you're innocent until proven guilty, but that doesn't mean you get buck. You know, like it doesn't mean that you in my opinion, it doesn't mean that you get bucked. Of course, you can challenge your rights.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I live in Los Angeles, and I was driving through Beverly Hills in my car, and I have a Dodge Challenger, which I deliberately did not get my windows tinted because I didn't want to be. I already knew that because it's a somewhat of a racing car that I was already going to be kind of profiled, and a black man driving that car even more so. I was driving through Beverly Hills, got pulled over by the police. Two police officers were surrounding my car, and they were trying to tell me that my windows were tinted. We went back and forth about they were like, get out your car. Your windows are tinted, sir, and we're gonna prove this that they're tinted. And after I wanted to get aggressive, I'm not gonna lie, like, cause I'm like, I bought the car. I know what the specialties of the car. My windows aren't tinted, but they were convinced because I know it's because I was black. That's why they pulled me over, and I got out the car. They realized they weren't tinted, and they apologized. But my thing is it didn't even have to get to the point of them having me step out of my car. And I wanted to, like many, I wanted to pop off. I wanted to, I was upset. I was enraged, but I knew that, wow, there's a part of me that I could get shot right now for something silly like my windows being tinted and arguing with the cops. So we just have to be smart on our approach, and hopefully, listen, I'm hoping that what's going on right now changes that narrative. But I'm not sure. We're in the middle of all this, and it's still happening. And we're still getting videos that are being sent of injustice to black people in the middle of this craziness that that's going on right now. So I hope the narrative does change. I don't know. We're at that bowling point right now where it has to.
Okay, brothers, here we go. We got a sister for you. Need all hands on deck on this sister right now. And I need you all to send her brotherly vibes. Ashley Gray says, if I am asked to get out of my car and there's no reason why I need to, I'm staying in the car. Hashtag Sandra Bland. And we do not want you to be a hashtag Ashley Gray. So we have to address this right now because Ashley is a lot of our community. So somebody get it and be careful.
I feel like if we comply with the police right off the rip, right before anything turns into a confrontation, that will allow us to be in a safe position. As Black individuals in this country, we have to think a few steps ahead mentally. So we have to be mentally stronger than the average person.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Right. Like, your instinct tells you, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not doing what you're asking me to do. But logic tells you, wait a minute, be smart about this because we're not in an environment where you can question the police yet. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we're not there yet. So taking that stance is almost like, you know, when you're a kid and you touch the stove and it's hot, you know, like don't you touch, you know, if you touch the stove, this is what you're gonna get burned.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, yes, you're right. If you don't know why, yes, you're not gonna want to comply, but the logic and the reason has to kick in and say, you know what? I don't like what they're doing right now, but we have not moved past where they could pull me out of this car, and this could be my last day on earth.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let me be smart.
Yeah. You have to weigh the factors. Is your life worth popping off for? You know,
Right.
I mean, in that situation, you know, you gotta evaluate that yourself, and it's not
Right.
worth it.
And Ashley Gray, I'm just going to say this to you and anybody who thinks like that, because you all are seeing it as the cops telling you don't buck. Okay, so don't worry about the cops. Listen to us. Listen to your brothers and your sisters talking to you. So when you want to buck, don't think it's because the cops said it. Just tell yourself, the wealthy guy, Dario, Omari, and Priscilla said, don't buck, roll with that. Because we want you to be here. We cannot afford. We cannot afford. You see my son, I'm telling you, he's 13-year-old responding. Ashley, he can't afford to see you. He can't afford to see hashtag Ashley Gray. That's why. If for no other reason, just hold your cool. Hold your cool, girl. Do it for us. We love you. Listen to us. All right. And I think that's what a lot of people need to hear it from us, you know, from their own brothers and sisters of how to go about police procedures. Because when the police do it, they do exude authority, and they almost do, you know, some don't realize it, not all, but may come across as if you're an animal. And I hear a whip crack sometimes, like I'm Toby or something, you know. I can hear push, you know. They may be talking, but I'm sitting there like Denzel Washington from Glory. Just taking it, and that's how we feel. But those of us of influence, if we get in front, and you know, sometimes you just have to say it as is. They tell you to put your hands up. We're not doing. Why? What are my rights? Because I know how we do. What right do you have to do that? We're doing this. We're doing this. I have my license and registration. Do you mind if I get it? I'm going to move my hand, and you tell them what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
These are the steps. These are the steps, folks. You're going to get it. There's nothing in here. Can you see what's in here, officer? Okay, I'm going to reach and get my registration. Here you go. There's nothing else is taking place until you get your behind home, and then you can get on the internet and tell all of us about it, and we'll get out sharped for you. But get home.
Right.
Get home safe.
Yes. Yes. All right. So I think we pretty much covered a lot. Okay. So Black Lives Matter. Sometimes they say all lives matter. Of course, we are directed it to one thing. I think everybody is on pretty much on one. I think this with George Floyd pretty much put people on one sheet of music right now. Okay. And so we want to take advantage of this moment and run with it to educate everyone as quickly as we can and catch them up to speed and move them on while we have their attention, because we haven't really, we've known about it, but everybody hasn't known about it or had a reason to speak about it very openly. So we definitely want to educate as quickly as we can our people that are out there by having these topics and these discussions and giving people steps, because some people truly need them. You know, you see people out there that are that were looting. I saw a video of one young lady, and she was saying that the reason why we're doing that is because we haven't had an advantage in this economy that we have basically built. And when we did build something, it was taken away. So we don't care anymore. It's not our stuff when we burn it down. And she was talking about certain franchises. But at the same time, we were actually burning Black businesses that people had worked so hard for and thought that they were going to have generations built. And I know that they put a story out there about one man that lost his business and then he was able to receive $1 million to build it back. But that's one man.
Right.
You know, what about everybody else? Some of those cars, that was all people had to get back and forth. Those bus stops, people were trying to get home that night. So even when we're protesting and doing things for a cause, which the protests did work, but we would just want to make sure that we're safe and nothing literally backfires on us or tears up the businesses of our fellow brothers and sisters, or has people looking at us saying, look at them, I told you. They ain't got no sense.
Right. I think, you know, one of the other things that we have to do is support the businesses within our community. The first reason that Black people give for not supporting Black business is their prices are too high and their customer service isn't great. But what people need to realize is you're comparing that business to Target and Walmart and all of these other places that you're happy to give your money to, you know, when they continue to disrespect us and follow us around the stores and not give us, you know, the treatment that we deserve. You cannot expect a small Black-owned business to, you know, be priced the way that Target is. It doesn't make it can't. It's not possible. You cannot expect a Black-owned business to have the same level of service as a multi-billion, $1 million company. When that company started, trust me, they had hiccups too in their service. Right. They've had a lot of years to get it right. So just because it's a new Black-owned business and they make a mistake, you know, that's not the be-all, end-all. You know what I'm saying? It's just like grow with them. You know, like provide that feedback, but give them a chance to, you know, continue to like be better. You can't hold them to the same standards as, you know, businesses that have had a very long time to get it right.
I agree. Courtney Stewart says, I think it's a false assumption that you will get home, but I guess it's more likely so. That's why we have to go with it. Yes, go with it. Go with it, girl. Get home. And Ashley Gray says, it's important to hold Black businesses at a high standard, period. Okay.
Ashley Gray, are you a business owner? That's what are you a business owner?
Yes. Are you a business owner, Ashley? And if so, what is your business? My name is not Dee Dee Thomas, an official citizen's bill of rights within our respective state that provides that's provided by the police department or some government entity, so we can confirm our actual rights at the time of being pulled over. Okay. Well, what we're saying is you need to get home. Okay. We're not the police getting ready to ask them, do they know the law?
Right.
We're going home.
We just want to get home safe.
She says, I support Black business. Terrific. Thank you. This is a Black business. You all make sure you all tell everyone about Still Learning, Still Developing. So that's what we do here. We shine light on Black excellence, and we make sure we educate our people, give them actual steps, meet you where you're at, and converse and discuss things with you.
And there's actually a great list that's going around on social media that lists out Black businesses, Black-owned businesses across the country that people can find out and support. You know, there was places on there that I had no idea that were in Los Angeles even that I want to make sure that I try and support as much as possible.
Okay, let's go through the businesses that we have on here. Okay, Black Hollywood Live. All right. So that's what we have on here. That is Mr. Dario Cristone. Am I pronouncing it right? I gave it some flavor.
I like the flavor you gave him. You gave that little extra sauce at the end. I like that.
Bougie.
You gave a little sauce. That bougie black right there. Bougie black.
Bougie black folks.
Bougie black
They
folks.
knew
I
we was
love
bougie black folks when they saw the flyer. You know, those kinds of blacks, eh?
The bougie blacks. I love it. You know, that's why we got
Then
the
we
names
have
that we
the
got.
wealthy guy. Okay, he has the suits, and he has. I'm going to ask you all about these businesses too, because I want to know some more information. And Omari Washington, he's an actor with Gracefully Broken. I'm going to circulate some questions. I'm going to start with Dario Cristone. How did you go about starting Black Hollywood Live?
Well, Black Hollywood Live actually is a partnership with AfterBuzz TV, which was started by Maria Menounos, journalist Maria Menounos, formerly of E! News. So it's a entity under the bigger corporation, but we knew that there was a need for Black content out there that wasn't being supplied to people. I mean, if you weren't Denzel Washington or Halle Berry or a big name actor, you weren't getting any coverage on Entertainment Tonight or these other bigger outlets. Mm-hmm. We wanted to create a place where it could be an upcoming actor or producer or director or politician, a place where they can be known and their names can be put out there and they can actually be featured in the same light that a actor on E! News or on Entertainment Tonight would be featured. We wanted to give them that space because there's so much talent out there, and the network, we've been, what I love about the network is that we've been able to feature so many people whose careers we've seen grow, who at the beginning, like for example, Jay Ellis from Insecure. Jay Ellis was one of our first interviews that we did on the network when he was first starting off on, I believe, The Game at the time. And he wasn't a household name, and to watch his career blossom since then, he's always given a love back to the network of saying, you know, hey, you guys helped me when no one knew me and were giving me any interviews. Tiffany Haddish was the same way. She literally would come on our network at the beginning when she was doing the comedy tours and no one knew her name on the same level. And now it's like, I was at the Golden Globes this year and doing interviews, and she was going inside the Golden Globes and wasn't doing any more interviews, but she saw us and came back over to us and said, Black Hollywood Live, I will always do an interview with you because you guys supported me when no one knew my name. So that's important to me, you know, to support our people in that sense.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So if you all are actors or actresses out there, Dario Cristone, you might want to connect with him. Let me see if I can get his information up here so that everyone can see it. Okay. Follow him on Instagram. Shoot me a DM. Shoot him a DM. Okay, let me tell you all how God works, because I met all these men separately. Then we have one. We have an actor. Oop.
Look at that headshot. Do
you see that headshot?
That's money right there. That's money.
I gotta give y'all a tour.
Right there.
I gotta give y'all a tour of Omari Washington. Here we go. Get it up. Listen. So you got your tour right here. Here you go. Here is your actor. There's your platform that you need to be connected with. Black Hollywood Live. And you know what? He's in Los Angeles, California, just like you.
Hey, we can schedule that interview, bro. We family now.
Shout out to Dario, actually. I was a guest on the show, actually. Danny Royce brought me on.
Oh, Black Actor Studio.
Yeah, yep.
Praise the Lord. Look at that connection. We are connecting.
Well, we'll have you on another show. We got one of our hottest shows on there is called Black Hollywood Live, The Trend, with my co-host Courtney Stewart. We'll have you on and talk about what's going on currently right now as well. Have a part 2 conversation from this.
Okay. And he just tell us about this. You told us a little bit about it, but what is your next step?
My next step with that is to tour the film all over the country once everything goes back to normal, of course, and go to schools and really raise the voice for suicide and depression and talk more about it and be more open with people about it. Because I feel like a lot of people aren't comfortable with talking about their demons that they're facing or things that they might be going through. And growing up dealing with physical abuse and mental abuse and some other trauma that I experienced, I feel like it's my duty to give back in a different way. And any actors who need help, I love to be that middle person to connect them to that next step, you know?
Okay. And we look forward to that. Okay. The wealthy guy. All right.
Wealthy guy.
Listen, because you got to look sharp. Y'all
Right.
are on camera. Listen, Dario goes out there to the Golden Globes and the Oscars, and he's going to interview this star named Omari Washington. And they're going to say, and I'm going to pull up and say, what are you wearing?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what are you wearing?
You know, what I love about the wealthy guy is not only is it me, it is so many of us, right? We see ourselves like that in our heads. And you know, not only are you dressed well, you feel good, you carry yourself different, the energy that you receive from others is great. And kind of like where the wealthy guy is going is because I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? What do I know how to do? How can I share what I've, received with others? And really, the next step of that and the elevation of the wealthy guy is teaching others how to do exactly what I've been able to build in this time, because I work right here, right in this space in my home, and I've been able to grow a business, right here. You don't need a fancy storefront and spending thousands of dollars on rent and things like that. You just need and I think that that's what has inspired so many people, because what you see here, when you come and spend your $1,000,
yes,
we're gonna be sitting right here on the couch when I take your credit card.
Okay.
So it's something that is very attainable and very real for us, but a lot of people think that, well, I know how to dress sharp, I can do what you do. It's much more than that, right? Like it's a business, it is a business. And I've been, fortunate in my life to work, like I said, for some great companies, and take those skills and apply them to, this. So really what, the next step for the wealthy guy is training us up to be able to either make a side income or do it as a full-time business.
Wow.
Hey, I saw a couple of those jackets over there, man. I might need to hit you up. You
Listen,
have me looking fresh on the carpet.
Listen,
Yeah.
I tell everybody, if you follow me, you're gonna end up giving me $1,000. So put it aside right now.
Listen, y'all hear that, black business? There is nothing on clearance around here.
Hey, I ain't mad. You let me know up front what I'm getting into. I ain't
Right.
mad at you.
Get your savings together. But it's worth it. It's quality.
It is.
And it speaks before you do.
It does. And it is.
It does.
The beauty of it is no one else is going to have it. It is yours, made for your body, So that is that's the beauty of it.
Okay, we're going to take a few more comments and then we're going to close it out. Let's see, I'll just take this one more comment. What are thoughts on businesses making it clear they are Black owned? Is it good to see on social media? And it'd be nice while driving randomly and hungry to be able to stop in and buy food. So I guess what he's saying is Black businesses, we should promote our businesses more online. I'm thinking that's what you mean, Phil.
This is making it.
When you say hungry about buying food, this is what I tell people just from doing social media marketing. If you have a restaurant, don't you think about noontime is the time for you to start posting your food, maybe about 11:30 or something like that? Because people are on Facebook while they're at work anyway. And if they see a flash of food come over, you know, social media has overridden word of mouth. If somebody tell me Jackie's down the street is good, yes, that's auntie and it sounds good. But if I look on here and I see a lobster crack open with water bursting out of it and it's moving, I'm going to Red Lobster because they have just really hit me up psychologically, and I'm going to go spend my money there. It's a shame, and it's not even a Black business, and I'll be there eating.
Yeah, I think what he's asking is like, say for instance, if you went to my website and right there in the announcement bar it says this is a Black-owned business.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a tough one because people there are a lot of people who believe in letting that be known, and then there's a lot of people who feel like saying that would be limiting, right? It would turn you know non people of color
away
from the business. It's a tough one. It all depends on if you want your client to be all Black.
Oh, here's a really good one. As a filmmaker myself, how can I better support Black film community? And you're a filmmaker. Yes, we do need some more minorities on screen. Phil, by the way, make sure that you subscribe and leave me some kind of email so that I can get in touch with you. Please subscribe to this channel, everyone. Please subscribe. Thank you. But okay, so you all heard that question.
Yep.
As a filmmaker, how can I better support Black film community?
Cast more Black roles. Go see Black films in the theater, on demand. Rent some Black movies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Phil, actually, I know Phil's a business partner of mine, and I will say this about him. He supports us. He's done projects where majority of his cast were minorities, and he's always trying to elevate the game and figure out ways to support us in any way he can. But to piggyback off of what you're saying, I would also continue to say, you know, obviously casting, helping to promote other fellow African-American filmmakers or actors and their projects, and using his platform to promote those others and get it in front of his audience as well, because knowledge is power. So the more people spread the word, the more people know and understand and can figure out what people are doing. And social media too. Social media, I think, is key in that element too, with helping to promote stuff.
Okay. I also thought of something along the way, because I know in films you all have to have clothes. See, I'm gonna keep promoting all of you all. So if you need design clothing for your films, okay, you have the Wealthy Guy. You see what he's about. Hit him up and see what you can do about getting those clothing for your films.
Right. But don't hit me up about no samples unless you're 5'10", 140 pounds.
Right. Actors, you need your headshot. You know, some of these headshots are how people pick you for films because they're trying to fill a slot. If I were you, I would try to come off looking like how I want to look in the film. You know, I know there's some films where you have to, you know, be dirty or bloody and stuff like that, but maybe they want you to play a certain role that it has a prestigious male. So you want to make sure that you show them right off the bat that, you know, you can do that. Okay.
Priscilla, I think if you don't want to be a journalist, you need to go into PR, because you promoted all of our businesses. That PR might be your calling. I don't know. Like, I feel like I want to hire you right now just for that.
Listen, my resume is on LinkedIn. My website is www.priscillamack.com. And on there is all of my information. Let me see. Get you all, because I'm a PR myself too here now. I'm not crazy. Give
All right.
Right there. And you can go on there and you can see where I do project management and all those kinds of things, web designs, logos, digital shows, books. I love books, authors. While we're talking about Black Lives Matter, Powernomics is a great book by Dr. Claude Anderson that every brown face should read. Okay. It talks about the rebuild of the Black community and gives a lot of great pointers and steps to execute that and get it done. Okay, so we have, let me see. I think we have gone through everything, and everybody has been really great. Our guests are great. The people who are leaving comments are great. Dario, your team is great. They came.
The tribe came through. The tribe came through. They're supporting us right now.
Listen, Black Hollywood Live. You all check it out. Subscribe to that. He has a YouTube channel. Dario has a YouTube channel. I subscribe to you, Amari Washington. Wealthy Guy, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do.
Okay.
Wealthy Guy.
Right. We will find everybody in here do it. Everybody that's watching do it. Everyone follow everyone's thing. And also on Instagram. Everybody is on Instagram as well. We put those links up there. So these are men that are representing our community. Amen. Everybody out there agree? Yes.
Yes.
So thank you. You all have came in, you delivered the information that we needed. You even talked your sister off the edge. Okay. And made sure that I didn't get up here and cry in front of everybody and embarrass myself. So I think God is pleased with you all today. The three good Samaritans, good Black men of honor. Thank you so much for schooling us and being a part of this show. Still learning, still developing. Take care. Bye.
Stay safe.
All right, you all don't click off yet.
Black people get life insurance.
Yeah, don't click off yet because I have to do a screenshot. So we have to all smile. It's going to be
All right.
My little screenshot thing here. So open up my eyes. All right. There we go. It's the thumbnail. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
You too.